Amir Timur and his moral legacy. The plan. 1. The life and activity of Amir Timur. 2. A Timur prominent statesman of high spirituality. 3. Issues of spirituality in the late Tamerlane. Culture Timurid era is the great treasure in the history of Uzbekistan, written in golden letters. This era performs an important role in the glorification of our country in the world. Educating people, serves to strengthen the independence and formation of the people of national pride. The Mongols held sway in Movarounnahr to 1363. The Mongols held sway in Movarounnahr to 1363. War and the constant clashes tortured all. Only Amir Timur, 1336 to 1405, devoted his life to the liberation and independence of the country. Amir Timur, great personality, which has made an immeasurable contribution to world culture and spirituality. Built on his command Bibihonum Mosque, 1404, the palace Oqsaroy, 1380 to 1404 GG, the Tomb of Dorus Saodat, 1380, refer to the monumental structure of not only our country, but of all mankind. Many generations of the descendants of Amir Timur to them to continue the improvement of social life. Amir Timur organized compact and workable system of control of central states, preferring not quantity but quality. In determining public policy and practical implementation of it in life was taken as a basis for the rule of force, injustice. He attracted public affairs honest and conscientious people. In questions of power focused on the site. Vizier or minister had to have 4 qualities. 1. Nobility of thought and loftiness of soul. 2. Subtle and penetrating mind. 3. Experience and habit of living together with the soldier and the citizen. 4. Tolerance and the ability to try. Amir Timur, polymath people knew that spiritual factor is badly needed, and it cannot exist without the society and every civilization. Amir Timur considered Murid, a follower of the Sufi tariq order, Naqshbandi. In the philosophy of Sufism special place humanism, courage, diligence, honesty with which he was familiar with the early years, and that had a great influence on his spiritual qualities. In his autobiography, Amir Timur writes about the moral qualities of man. 1. At the heart of the moral qualities should be honest. 2. Unquestioning adherence to religious dogma, to respect the person, respected by the will of Allah. 3. You always have to make more donations to the poor, every quarrel should be carefully studied and where possible it should be solved positively. In the late Timur, the basis of the state is 12 social strata. In the late Timur, the basis of the state is 12 social strata. They included 1. The descendants of the Prophet, scientists, heads of communities and lawyers, and 2. Intelligent people capable of giving advice and forward-aged men, and 3. Good men, dervishes, ascetics, and 4. Emirs, sheikhs and officers, and 5. The army and people. 6. Worthy trusted people, advisors, and 7. The vizier, office manager, secretary. 8. Doctors, astrologers and geometry. 9. Hadith collector, historian, author chronicles and narratives. 10. Elders, dervishes and theologians. 11. Master artisans, cobblers, representatives of art. 12. Merchants, chiefs of caravans and travelers. Also in his actions had been identified 12 principles that guided him. 1. The ruler should rule only on themselves. No one should lead it. 2. Fairness, and he, the ruler in the future, To elect incorruptible and virtuous First Minister, Vizier. 3. Orders and prohibitions required hardness. Must own decisions, so that no one can change them. 4. He must be steadfast in their decisions. 5. Whatever were the orders of the monarch, should be followed by their immediate execution. Not one subject can be so powerful and daring to stop their execution, even if it seem these orders can suffer severe consequences. 6. Security requires that the rulers do not rely on others in public affairs, and do not entrust the reins in the wrong hands. 7. He should not neglect anyone's advice and wishes. 8. In matters of government, it should not be guided by the behavior and speeches someone else. 9. Respect for authority, as the ruler should sit firmly in the hearts of citizens and troops, so no one can disobey the emperor. 10. All the monarch does not, so he was steadfast in orders once and cast, for hardness, it is the greatest force for governor. 11. The department, with the promulgation of the orders, the monarch must be careful to recognize someone companion, and it should not take to his friend to drive. 12. Another important precaution, find out those that surround it, and to be constantly on guard against them. Islamic law, which is performed in the state of Amir Timur co-legislative function, based on the teachings of Islam. In the works of Imam Bukhari, at Termi, Bahauddin Naqshbandiya Madhyasavi Burkanuddin Margainoli, along with the characteristic of the Quran, to interpret Islamic law. Timur instructions can be divided into the following groups: A. Religion and Sharia law, and B. The state and its management, and C. The councils, Kangash, D. The king and his minister. In this work, Amir Timur given instructions related to manners, morals and human behavior. He never turned his anger on someone. In the late Timur he writes that God does not take the anger and violence in communication, and it can prevent someone who is angry. Having a good word, appeal to the conscience of the enemy, he said. Language sharper swords, one kind word will send the sword in the scabbard. During the years of independence, Temur became a national hero, and in the center of Tashkent he put majestic bronze statue. His name are many parks, squares and streets in the country. According to the decision of UNESCO, 1996 was declared the year of Amir Timur. At the initiative of UNESCO, April 24, 1996 in Paris, was held a week devoted to the 660th anniversary of the birth of Amir Timur. President of Uzbekistan Islam Karimov, in his speech at the celebration of the opening of the monument to Amir Timur in Tashkent, said, "The unit of Amir Temur, his mastery of the commander, the military strategy for many centuries served as a model for the powers of the East and the West. In his era culture, science, architecture, visual art, music, poetry achieved extraordinary prosperity, have confirmed many of the customs of our people.